Hi there, I'm Brian Elliott. I'm the managing partner of Periscope by McKinsey, and we're well known for our revenue growth analytics and solutions that build the capabilities into your organizations to sustain the impact and to be able to get the advantage of that growth for your businesses. Today, we're here to talk to you more specifically about personalization and how is it that we can use the learnings from organizations that are further down the journey to accelerate your journey on that path to personalization as well. As we win our customers' hearts and minds through personalization, it's actually going to take some effort as we rewire the way our organizations work. So where are we in that journey? We did a survey. Thank you very much for participating in that. So this is everything you're about to see are specific numbers to the participants here at the World Retail Congress. We'll start out though with understanding what customers want. Customers, 83% of customers are saying that they really want a personalized experience. They want a personal relationship with us as a brand. And only 23% of them really believe that retailers are executing on that. Now these are fairly global numbers and they're very similar around the globe. Specific to the World Retail Congress, the survey that we executed here, 95% of you have said we hear our customers and we've made this a top priority. It's in the top 5 priority of our organization to get this done over the next few years, but only 15% of you are saying that you've already got that implemented. And that means a few things. First of all, if you're one of the 85% that has not done this journey, hopefully this is going to help accelerate you down that path. And if you are one of the 15% that's moved down that, hopefully you'll recognize some of the pitfalls here and we can help accelerate you to getting the last 20, 30% of that value that you may have already started to realize. So here's the results from your colleagues in this room. How important is this? It's a top priority. Most of them put it in the top 3. And why are you doing it? We're doing it to build our customers' relationships, not just short-term financial benefit, but long-term relationships. We want to understand what are their evolving needs, and we want to be more customer-centric in the way that we build our brands with them. Nonetheless, many of us are already starting to say, we need to make sure that that's profitable for us. And actually, that's part of the challenge on the journey of moving from mass to personalized communications and offers, is maintaining profitability. So we'll talk a little bit about what makes that successful. And where are you? Well, 15% are fully implemented. Another 28% of you are currently experimenting with how to turn this on in a bigger way. And 43% say this is a major priority, but we've not started. It's a major priority in the next 2 years. So I'm going to target a conversation that we're going to have here today to make sure that all of you understand what's required and what are the essentials that we found to making that a profitable and successful journey. So the only reason to go on a journey that you know might be hard is because the value is there. And there's both short-term value with the clients we work with. These are actual audited results where you can unlock near-term value with 10 to 20% more efficient marketing and 10 to 30% uplift in potential revenue. And revenue growth, of course, powers all of our organizations forward. But in addition, it helps sustain the long-term value that is the whole reason for going on the journey in the first place. 3 to 5% increase in customer acquisition and 5 to 10% higher satisfaction and engagement when we're personalized in our interactions with our customers. And that has a very large impact on our long-term lifetime value. But to get to that nirvana, we have to move from making single offers from one touch point to thousands of targeted offers. And this requires us to go on both a human and a technical journey. The technical is reasonably obvious in the sense that you need to automate to be able to move that fast, but the human journey is actually equally important. We have to rewire the way we work as an organization to be able to have faster generation of ideas that are actually taken out and executed with our customers. And in particular, we advocate moving to an agile marketing approach, which I'll talk to you about, which actually increases the throughput by a factor of 11. That's 1,100%, so it's a big improvement. Organizations that get after personalization have to rewire the way they work in 4 areas. First, the data foundation. You need a 360-degree view of every individual customer that's omni-channel and omnipresent. To make that really successful, so I have to rewire the way my whole organization has been collecting data. I need to make that in real time and I need to automate it. So the first essential in doing that is once you have the data together, the value is not just in getting the data together. Actually, that generates no value. The value is getting it into the hands of the decision makers at the moment of decision. And so you need to democratize your data. And we'll talk to you about how we put that in their hands. Second, we need to get our decision engine completely rewired. Right now, most organizations have worked in a relatively intuitive sense, and we need to move to a much more automated decisioning process that identifies the triggers for each customer and does all the analytics to know which is the most profitable or the most sales stimulating or the best to encourage retention that I can put out. And those are different objectives for different marketing campaigns. And I need my big data to be powered by data science, and I need the data science team to be able to refine that offer over time. But even once I know what offer I want to be doing in each situation, there's a couple things that really drive the value. The first is, if we're moving from mass to personalized offers, and you're getting vendor funding today for your mass offers, you need to figure out how to get vendor funding tomorrow to maintain the profitability. So we'll talk about getting vendor funding right. And second, you really need to think in journeys. Our customers are going through different journeys at different times, and you need to interrupt those journeys to be able to change behavior. Third, we have to rewire the way we design. We have to massively increase the innovation rate that we have. And there's lots of opportunity when we get more granular. But to make that work, we have to break down our functional silos. We have to have the e-commerce team work with our merchants to work with all of our technical folks that make this come alive. And we'll talk about how do you move to a more agile marketing organization. And ultimately, the real value comes in innovating to be more customer specific and context relevant at the moment on their journey. You still don't get the value unless you can execute that in real enough time for whichever journey you're intervening on. And that means you need to automate the distribution so that when you hit the trigger, you can actually scale out the offers that you know work. You can also use that same system to do continuous A/B testing, because your customer is not the same over time, they change, and you need to continually innovate with new offers that are coming out of your agile marketing organization. So I'll spend the rest of the time actually going through these 6 essentials so that you can understand what really drives the value. First one is to democratize your data. The good news is you don't have to start with all the data. A lot of us like to talk about the hype about all the new data you can do, but the reality is your organization already knows a fair bit about your customer, and if you can wire it together to answer 3 basic questions, you've got the beginnings of a personalization journey. You need to know what they want, you need to know what they already buy, and you need to know what works. How do they engage with you with the highest return on investment? And then you can come back and enrich it with all kinds of data. And we're all very excited about the new possibilities of web traffic and social data. Those absolutely enrich the context within which we can operate, and it does improve the lift when we can get more context relevant. But it also, on the far end here, with things like propensity to buy, we can use big data and advanced analytics to fill in for all the customers we don't know everything about them. A lot of deep learning algorithms can start taking the attributes you know about some customers, find other customers that behave the same, and you can guess into the attributes for them, and suddenly that allows you to personalize for them as well. And so the enrichment is not just new data sources, it's also using the data you've got in better ways. Ultimately, it has to be in the hands of the decision makers, and that means you need a system that can make the 360-degree view of every individual customer. So this customer is Jane Doe, as an example, obviously hidden, and we've been able to put together their transaction, on-site, email, and social to give us a really high understanding of what this customer desires, what she purchases, and what offer to make at different points in time. We've fully identified this individual. Now we can use that information to guess into other individuals, and that's the basis of being able to execute triggers that are fully personalized. Second, if you're going to move from mass promotions to personalized promotions, the vendor funding better come with it or it gets really expensive. So for those of you that are already getting vendor funding on the way from your partners or consumer goods manufacturers, there's 3 steps to start to get them involved. One is when you first start on the journey, you actually don't have an offer bank. So you need to populate that offer bank with something that your organization's already spending a lot of time on, which is just duplicate the funding you've already got from your vendors on your regular circular or flyers and put that into the offer bank. And second, ask the vendors what they want to be doing that they're already willing to pay for, and that can help populate your offer bank. Next stage is to actually allow them to bid, where you've got your own offers that your design team is inserted into the offer bank, and you want them to bid on things you already think you want to do. Why do I want them to bid? Because when they give me different funding, it actually changes the answer. So the return on investment for the same customer is different. When I have vendor funding, I'll actually pick a different offer to put in front of them. I'm not going to pick a bad offer, but I'm going to pick the one that is more profitable for me and still achieves my marketing objective. One of the simplest ways to get moving forward, and just to show you that actually the value is there, just moving from the print circular and adding on the ability to do personalized emails, in our experience, has been delivering about a 10 to 12% revenue increase just from that. Because a lot of our current customers don't actually engage with the circular in the way we want, or they benefit from the repetition. Essential number 3, you need to think in journeys. Our customers are actually at different journeys at different times. And this is not an exhaustive list, but just 6 common examples. Replenishment, it's a fill-in trip. I'm in the store and you can stimulate some instant consumption, or I'm near a store. Maybe I'm a deal seeker by nature and you can actually get me to come to the store at a moment when I'm actually looking for coupons online, or I'm trying to interact. I have a loyalty program of engagement, I have online ordering. All of these are different journeys and I interrupt them in different ways. The good news is we have different channels that can do that. I can use triggered emails to spike a replenishment visit, and actually, by the way, build my relationship with them by providing not even discounts, just recipes alone can often be very helpful for her, because she's trying to figure out what dinner to offer to, this is a grocery example, what dinner to offer to her family. She can also use triggered emails for deal seekers to say, hey, good news, a product that you've purchased before, or a product I think you should want to buy, but maybe you're buying from somebody else, we've had a price drop, come consider us. You can use promotional newsletters. You can use an online widget to give a next product to buy recommendation online, or even help stimulate what basket they might want if they've shopped often enough. And if you have the advantage of having an online chat or an online call center where they can interact with you, you can put special offers through the associate and learn more about that customer. By the way, also enrich your data set. And you can use geotagging to also identify the difference between a fill-in and a instant consumption opportunity, to be able to send a text to your customer and change their behavior. These are just some examples, but when you start breaking it down, it's not just broken down by customer, it's now broken down by the micro journey for each customer. The total journey is their relationship with you, and we talk about these as micro journeys. Ultimately, you want to then expand your ability to communicate those offers at different points in time for different triggers and for different journeys by integrating across in-store associates, online, circular, direct mail, delivery, fulfillment. That's right, even when I've delivered to you, that's a moment of customer interaction where I can influence your next behavior with me. Essential number 4 for capturing the value is to break down the walls of your own organization. The reality is, most marketing campaigns in a traditional approach take about 4 to 6 weeks to put together. And there's a bunch of different functions indicated by the different colors on this screen that have to work together, and they don't. So it's like a relay race, except you're dropping the baton between every person in the relay race. We've learned that agile marketing can completely reinvent the speed at which a marketing organization can function by knitting across between the business leaders and the daily full-time cross-functional team. We break it down in the way they work. We add in this ability of a Scrum Master, which is actually a borrowed term from agile software development, where we bring it to agile marketing. And when we knit people together, we've been able to get that down to a cycle of 3 to 5 days. Same quality, same impact, much higher throughput of ideas. And that's what's required, because we're moving from singular to thousands of offers. Number 5, you have to be customer specific and context relevant. And the more specific you are, the more the lift. Some of the ways that we've found to do that are, first, to be able to derive literally thousands of predictive variables for each individual customer, so that you can start figuring out, who is she, what does she buy, why is she making that purchase, what will she do next, how does she shop, how can we talk to her, is she about to churn, do I have indicators that I've got a concern in my relationship, or is she on a loyalty journey with me? And then I can start taking a few things. I'll share a few quick wins along the way. One of the quick wins is we know what she likes, and we ought to at least tell her when we have what she wants in the store. And we've been able to do that. We've been able to improve sell-through by tremendous amounts. This is a markdown example. So if you're in a category where you have end of life, apparel, consumer electronics, home furnishings, other areas, and you need to get rid of that product because it's too slow moving relative to your original prediction, you're going to end up marking it down. So why not start with the propensity to buy of the customers that really want that product at full price? and to get them to pay attention, or at a small discount before you do a steep discount. And we've been able to dramatically improve that. This is one of the typical quick wins. The other quick win earlier was being able to take your circular into customized emails. Another quick win, when you know that somebody has shopped, either in the store or online, and you were out of stock at the time, you want to just notify them that you're back in stock. Now you could offer them a discount, but you also sometimes can just tell them, and they're very happy to come back and purchase. And this is an example. We've done a lot of research in this area about what works and what doesn't, and it actually builds loyalty, and I kind of liked the end example here. Another one is from the photo company, is stimulating reactivation. This is a little bit more advanced. You have to know that the customer has lapsed. You have a regular understanding of how often she would normally shop with you, maybe even for items. She may still be coming to your store. You may not have lost the basket yet, but you've lost individual departments, and you want to stimulate reactivation. And this is an example where they knew that they'd bought a rather rare form of film, know that the regular time frame for using that is about 6 months. If they don't come back and buy already, you can stimulate the purchase, even at full price, by simply reminding them. And they find it really helpful because you've thought of them and you've clearly built a personal relationship. You can go further with things. This is a grocery example where you might want to engage the customer without discounting at all. You can do personalized recipes, you can start engaging them with them in content. The more they engage, you figure out more what they like. You can make offers off of that. But sometimes you can just remind them of a recipe that they indicated that they liked. When they walk in the store, you give them a text that says, here's your shopping list for that recipe. And it simplifies her life. There's a whole bunch of additional advantages. But if you think not everybody's doing personalized, the people that are doing geolocated personalization is even smaller. Nonetheless, we've done it, and I can tell you that it adds high value when you can start knowing, are they in town, are they at home, are they near a store, are they in a store, are they at the register? I'm going to send different offers, and I'm going to be able to execute on different marketing objectives depending on where they're located. Essential number 6 is about saying, great, the good news is I have these offers, I know what works. I need to automate the distribution so that I can actually execute that at scale. The common ones that people we would encourage you to start with would be, personalized weekly mailer or email with high return on investment offers, new item back in stock, or pre-markdown notification to say, hey, I have what you like. Why don't you come purchase from me? And you can then move on to well-timed offers, which can be really quite helpful. And often then you need to get both time and location together to really execute on those. Those are some of the more advanced cases, but high value. So it's a journey to get to impact. These are the 6 essentials that we talked about, but ultimately these 6 essentials are really knitting together that growth factor we talked about first, about having the data foundation in place, moving to a much more algorithmic decision engine that's supported by your data science team, reworking your team into an agile marketing organization that can really increase the design throughput, and automating the distribution so you can act on it at scale. Great. Well, thank you very much. I'm Brian Elliott from Periscope by McKinsey. Look forward to catching up with you.